What's going on, everybody? Today I just wanted to show you guys how I made jhene XY. I haven't really done one of these videos before, so I don't know how good I'm going to be at this, but I still want to show you guys. I know there's a lot of traffic to that song right now. Everybody's asking me to put it on Spotify. Unfortunately, I can't. Drake does own the vocals to the song. It is a remix, so without permission from Drake and jhene, I really can't do much. I did post the instrumental. That's the closest I can get, and I do appreciate all the support I've got on the track so far. So shout out to y'all. And for that, I just wanted to show you guys how I made it, some of the processes, and yeah. So let's get started. I mean, first and foremost, I wanted to make a West Coast beat. At the time, it was a few years ago when I made this, but at the time I was definitely trying to get into a little bit of R&B, and so I set it around 90 BPM. Generally, that's a good BPM for West Coast R&B. There's a lot of BPMs you can work with, but 90 to a little over 100 is a really good sweet spot for some of that stuff. So yeah, I guess first things first, I started with a sample and did a really weird job at EQing it, but whatever. And this is the sample I rocked with. So used that, just looped it throughout the entire song, and then I know it's labeled rim here, but it's actually a clap. Did zero mixing to this. All I did was lower it down 2 steps. So it was on C. I brought it down to this just to make it in tune with everything. So this is our clap pattern. Max velocity, nothing special. Literally just plain clap pattern. And then we have a kick. The kick has some velocity changes in it. It's a really punchy kick. Again, with the mixing on this kick, we have nothing special, but we'll play it. You can just hear that like volume gain in that velocity right there. And that's really all I did to that. So nothing too crazy there, but it does sound pretty good when it's all combined. This is like a signature sound that everybody's been wondering about. It's the bass. Generally, you can find really good R&B like bass sounds similar to this in like a Moog or mini Moog or anything of that sort. Any retro synth will generally have some pretty solid bass lines, but this was actually from Hive, and it wasn't even a bass. It was a trumpet like lead sound, and then I just EQ boosted the bass and added some stereo imaging with Ozone Imager, and so that's what gave me this sound. And then yeah, the pattern, max velocity, basically just consistent velocity and playing within a scale. I think I used my Ableton push to play that. You definitely don't need a push. Scale mode didn't exist when I made this, but you can mess with the scale mode down here and play with notes until you get something that sounds good. I'll save the vocals for last, but right here we have a Vox. It's just very subtle background sound, and that with some of the drums here we got. Gives it a little bounce, add that delay to it, and then one of the bigger sounds, all I did was add stereo imaging to this. No EQ, nothing. I was super lazy when I mixed this, but hey, it worked out, you know. This is our hat pattern, and so soloed it sounds like this. Again, messing with some velocities here. And yeah, with the drums and the Vox, and then we have our scratch. And the scratch, I just boosted the high end on this. I'm assuming because I really like the high end on it. I don't know. But basically it's this really long sample. And then what I was doing is like little bits of like pressing it very lightly. And you can get a nice rhythm out of that. And so that's exactly what I did for this. I was just playing it on a keyboard. And if I press play, you can see the rhythm I got out of it. And as you may notice, it's not directly on the grid. Like, it is slightly off. I left it because it just gives it a little bit more human feel. And like, you hear everybody say that's what J Dilla did, and like, dude, it's true. Like, if you shift and swing and leave your stuff off grid just a little bit, not your kicks and some of your kicks, like your in between kicks, but your main on the one kick, you kind of always want on beat. But then some of the little filler elements, you can always just shift it and make it a little more human-esque, I should say. And so yeah, that with everything, it already starts to sound super complete. And like that already, you can feel the bounce in the drums. Like, your head is moving. Like, you know that there's some rhythm to this. It's not stale. And that's good. That's what you want in any beat, is to have some sort of element moving you. And then these two things are actually just random shit that I did not use in this beat at all. I don't know. I must have just not deleted them. But the last part would be this solo. It's just Serum with some wacky mixing, I guess. I don't know what I was thinking here. But it's basically just a basic shape. It's a square wave, one oscillator, and then I messed with the ADSR, and it gave me this, and then I played the solo on the Ableton push. And yeah, I think it's personally just a little bit too loud right now. But that's I guess one thing I would change now, looking back at it years later. But yeah, with everything together. Oh wait, no, we want to check out jhene's vocals, and then we'll look at the master too. But jhene's vocals, what I did was I just grabbed an acapella, and then I added, I guess, auto-tune to it. I don't know if that's actually necessary. What you really want to do is you want to find the key. So if I turn that off. What's up? Been a minute since we kicked it, you've been caught up. What's up? See, it doesn't really sound any different with what's up? What's up? No difference in the auto-tune. I must have just been recording vocals or something before I added the acapella and just never deleted it. I don't really know what I was doing here with the high cut, but whatever. We're just gonna say we're taking out super harsh sounds. Maybe there was like some high end there. I don't know, but I always do this low cut, and I'll cut to about 300 or 250, depending on how good it sounds, just so I can give room for the bass. And then I had a CLA vocal plugin put onto it. You can use OTT, which Ableton has by default. That, or you can use a multiband compression plugin, which is right here, and that'll just basically boost some volumes and compress, and you can mess around with that and tweak it to your liking. But yeah, I mean, this is just a multiband compressor on top of a doubler, so you can hear some of the sounds are a little bit wider when this is on versus it being off. So with it off, it sounds like, and then with it on, it has some reverb too, I'm pretty sure. But there's that, and then I just added a little bit of delay and did a high cut here, or high pass, sorry. And other than that, let's look at my master here. I just boosted some of the bass volumes. Oops. So yeah, if I go down here, we have a little bit of bass boost, a little bit of a high-end boost. I use Saturn 2 to soft clip, but honestly, the glue compressor in Ableton is very solid, very, very solid. It honestly sometimes sounds better. Sounds clear. I actually like Saturn better on this track, but sometimes I prefer glue compressor over Saturn. And then I have a reverb. Oh, this is actually not even involved, I think. I don't know. I have no idea what's going on here. But we have some reverb automation, specifically in this section. Yeah, so there's just some reverb automation. I'm trying to figure out what I did with this one. It has been so long, and I see that there's some automation there, like here, but I don't really know what's going on there. I know Pro R is doing the reverb job. And then, yeah, Restream. This is just what I use to have zero latency in my streams. All that's doing is just sending this sound from this plugin, or Ableton, to OBS for me. So yeah, I did not mean to play that. But yeah, dude, if you enjoy this and want to see more or want to learn more about producing or anything, let me know in the comments. And yeah, subscribe, like, do your thing. Appreciate y'all. Peace.